this is Proof 66, and today we are going to do some whiskey. We're going to do some big market whiskey. We got a couple of samples here from Diageo, who, as you may or may not know, makes Bulleit bourbon. And we have here a little flask, a little 200 milliliter flask sample of their 10-year Bulleit bourbon. So you might be familiar with their regular Bulleit. This one happens to be aged for 10 years, so they're a premium product. We also have a little smaller sample of their Blade and Bow bourbon. This is one of the more recent bourbons on the market. Won some big awards in 2016, so a lot of people are really liking it. So for you whiskey nerds out there, we're going to try these out and see if it's worth your money. We are going to compare them to other big market but highly regarded bourbons. From Buffalo Trace and Sazerac, we have Stag Junior. From Austin Nichols, and we have Wild Turkey. And then we have good old Knob Creek, another highly regarded bourbon from Beam Suntory. So some big market bourbons going after each other today. I think you're a bourbon aficionado. Or you like your stuff?
Well, I like it, and I'll tell you what, I've never called myself an aficionado, but I'm looking forward to, by the end of this, quite frankly, I'll call myself one either way. So,
yeah, this is definitely a training gauntlet we're going to throw down here. So a lot of big market bourbons coming through our glasses here. We're going to try them out and see where we end up. Maybe, if we're still upright, try them in a couple of cocktails. So with that, here we go. We are going to start with the Bulleit 10 year. This is out of the distillery in Indiana. They make a lot of whiskey out there, and they've been making Bulleit whiskey for a long time. But this one has aged 10 years. It's going to have a rye kick to it. It comes in at 91 proof. So I've put a little ice in mine. You've chosen to take yours neat.
Well, I'm taking them neat, and especially since we are going from the low to up to the highs. I'd like to see just, as the initial heat kicks on first, and kind of see if I can get past that and chase them by the end. So just kind of an exploration a little bit here. So
yeah, definite rye on the nose for those of you wondering. Very short finish, not as robust as I would have expected for a 10-year. I'm expecting a 10-year bourbon to be sticky.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree. I was expecting a little bit more character, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, just a little bit more depth of character, something that goes beyond something that you'd take a shot of at some lonely bar. So.
Well, it's decent. I'm just not for your flagship premier awesome bourbon. I'm not quite. I'm not quite getting the character out of it, I thought. So, decent.
Oh, I'd love to drink it all day. Yeah. I mean, no, it's absolutely good. Like I said, it's. I think the things it probably lacks is me, wanting to judge it too harshly. But it is, it's a very good drinking whiskey. Okay. Just I think it does lack that longer finish. It's sticky, maybe. Yeah, something missing, but still, completely drinkable there. Okay. So.
Well, for those of you at home, it does have a nice rye kick to it. I think it'll hold up well in cocktails. We might try it out here in a second in that setting. But let's check out the Blade and Bow. So Blade and Bow is new on the market. Again, it's gotten some very high accolades on the critical circuit. It'll have that same rye kick that's coming out of Indiana, and very similar nose. Sweeter.
See, it's a little bit sweeter, a little velvety,
and sticky.
And
that one's got a finish.
Yeah. No, that's
nice long finish.
That's enjoyable. That's something I wouldn't put in a cocktail, and I wouldn't like to just enjoy it like this.
So no age statement on this guy. We have no idea how long it was aged, but I would regard the Blade and Bow as the better bourbon out of these two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's wins my vote, because again, I prefer to have it neat, or at the bare minimum, just a little bit of ice. And I think with that one, I can sit down and enjoy it a little bit slower, drink a little bit longer versus that. I think it'd be great in cocktails. Again, great rye flavors to it, but just it lacks that sticky. So, but no, that Blade and Bow that was excellent.
I'm sorry, that's the smaller bottle. See. Okay, well, we're going to compare that to some big market bourbons here. These are both at 91 proof again. We've got Knob Creek at 100, Wild Turkey, Kentucky Spirit at 101, Stag at 130, Stag Junior here at 130. Both of these have a bit of a rye kick. The Stag, as some of you may know, is a wheated bourbon. So we'll taste these just to place the Bulleit and the Blade and Bow in the pantheon. So here we go with the Knob Creek. Very familiar to me. I can pick the smell out in the lineup. It's got that heavy char.
Yeah, I was gonna say heavy char. It's one of those when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a place where you don't do your usual drinking at, when you order a drink, what kind of whiskey do you have? That's always Knob Creek. You can see that bottle sitting up there. So yeah, as I say, it's when I'm out of my, or I guess within my comfort zone, anywhere else, this is kind of the go-to, easy. You know what it's going to taste like. So.
Low risk, high reward. Yeah, big, robust. I think I prefer it to our two Diageo products up here. Even for all its big market fame.
It actually still does hold up. The Bulleit may, although it's a little bit sweeter, this is, it's, again, you know what it's going to taste like. It's going to have that more dry finish. Again, just kind of that bold charcoal flavors. And that always works for me. I said, that's easy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's still good.
I agree. So that's our Beam Suntory product. Jim Beam is the producer of that particular whiskey. Let's try Austin Nichols, which is now actually owned by Gruppo Campari out there in Italy. But a lot of people love Wild Turkey. It's one of the underrepresented bourbons in the market. This is their Kentucky Spirit, highly rated, one of their premium products. So let's give that a shot. So very spicy on the nose, much different than Knob Creek. Very good.
That is very good.
For those of you unfamiliar with Wild Turkey, it's always had a temperamental, feisty sort of air to it when you drink it. It's not just the heat, because we just drank the Knob Creek at 100 proof, and this one's only 101. But it's temperamental.
Yeah, no, actually,
Spicy a little bit. You got
like that. I like that. Well, it's peppery would be wrong, but
spicy. Yeah.
But it's a little bit spicier. Yeah, the heat. Don't notice the heat feels about the same as Knob Creek, although it's maybe just a little bit more. But it's no, it's good. They make a really bad song. I forget who sings it, called "Blame It on the Wild Turkey," and it's got that aura where it should just be a, more of the gut rot varieties. But they've done a pretty decent job on that, and that's pretty good.
Too,
yeah, no, that's real good.
Well, let's move on to the Stag Junior. This is a very highly regarded product, a single barrel product. George T. Stag is a very famous antique collection bourbon. This is not that. This is Stag Junior, but still getting big accolades, still barrel strength. So I watered mine back quite a bit. I think you were taking yours at the full 130?
Well, taking it at 130. I'm going to taste it first that way. Probably to wrap back on these, I may add a little bit of ice to this one. I think I can keep the rest of them neat, but I just wanted to see with that upfront heat, if it would detract it, more than what I'd be able to taste past. So we'll find out right now.
Yeah, so for me it's so much more robust than the others, but flavor and everything. So where are you? Are you all hot oil, or do you get any flavors out of it?
No, I got flavor. I think it's a little bit sweeter. A little bit, and not, you wouldn't want to compare it to honey or anything like that, but I think it's sweeter than I thought. The heat wasn't that bad. I probably won't add too much ice to it. I think if I have one of these bottles at my house, I'm going to add ice to it every time, or at least add one big ice cube or something to chill it off a little bit. Because I think if you're going to enjoy it for any amount of time, it's probably going to need just a little bit of a cut to it for my personal taste, anyways. But in the amount I'm having right now, I still think that's pretty good.
Again, as a wheated bourbon, I'm not surprised there's a little more sweetness in it. It's not the feistiness of the Wild Turkey, nor the heavy char of the Knob Creek. They all have their own taste.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Blade and Bow now. So we've tried all 5 of these whiskeys. I can say with some degree of certainty the Bulleit 10 is not holding up in this audience. This is not its peer group.
No, and I think, like you said, for the 10-year, expecting a little more out of it. I'd like to know the age. It might be one of those where that's a far younger, but maybe it was just done a little bit differently. I think it's a little bit sweeter. Kind of the left side, everything tasted a little bit sweeter, and I guess it'd be right for the camera. However, I think I'll probably circle back to that, but may not step into it right after the 130, just because I don't know if that dichotomy is going to work real well here, but I may go back to this since I've already said I liked it and see if it's held up.
Let's try it here and see. Yeah, I was expecting it to be flimsier relative to those other bourbons, but
It still holds up.
It still holds up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's my favorite out of the group, but it's not. For the Bulleit and Bow, I think this is its peer group. For Bulleit 10, I think it's in the JV class.
Yeah. I'd say that's a perfect probably explanation of it.
Right.
It still can get on the field. It's playing an hour beforehand.
Not ready yet.
It's not ready yet.
Pre-game, opening act.
Yep. Yeah, opening act. There again, great opening act, but still not what you're about to take it for.
Not why you came. All right. Well, we'll move on. Let's try a couple of cocktails here. Let's stick with the Bulleit and Bow and see if it represents better in a few cocktails. We'll try it in a classic Manhattan, and maybe if we're feeling sporty, we may invoke the Kentucky Derby here and try it in a mint julep. So we've gone ahead and made a Manhattan. We used the Bulleit and Bow bourbon. This poor little 100 milliliter bottle is just about used up now. Sorry, Bulleit and Bow, you're about to go away. We chose the Wild Turkey to compare it against because we thought that nice, feisty, temperamental bourbon. Let's see if it can sing out in relation to all the other flavors that are going on in Manhattan. We made ours with Via Red Vermouth. Via. It's one of the more well-regarded vermouths in the market. I've heard both pronunciations. I also like my Manhattan with a little bitters element to it. So we put both Angostura and cherry bitters in this guy, just a dash of both to give it a little extra complexity. And again, partly to see if these bourbons can actually punch through. We use ratios of 2 parts bourbon to 1 part vermouth. Again, not necessarily because that's my preferred Manhattan, but I want to see if these bourbons can punch through all of those flavors. If they can hold their individuality in this setting, I think we're looking at pretty good products. So, let's, you want to start with the Wild Turkey?
Please.
Okay, so this is the Wild Turkey Manhattan with bitters and with the Via Sweet Vermouth. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good vermouth makes a difference.
Good vermouth does make a difference. I normally don't. I think we all know which vermouth I usually buy at my house. It comes with a little red cap on it, and it does make a difference. And also the fact that it's chilled. I think for a long time I've always opened up a bottle and it immediately goes back onto a wine rack until the next time I use it. So I think I've learned something without even having to ask today. So I do appreciate that. But that's very smooth. Very. So
it is smooth. That's great.
Yes.
So the whiskey, though, could you even tell there was whiskey in here?
No. I think it was good, and I won't use the terminology I just had to phrase in front of you there because it's while it's not a 4-letter word, it would be a 4-letter word. No, I think
smooth, by the way, is a forbidden word in our pantheon.
Yes.
So you are cursed now for the moment and under penalty for using it. But smooth it shall be for this video.
Well, smooth it shall be. I think the whiskey I would have liked to see kick through a little bit more.
So again, we put heavy ratios in here, but still 101 proof bourbon, especially the kind of spiciness I saw earlier. I expected it to hit through a little further. But let's see how the Bulleit and Bow held up in the same precise setting. A little lighter proof to your health.
I would say overall sweet.
Sweet. Could you tell the
I
difference?
think the finish. I think it finished with a little bit more whiskey for me. I think as a mixture, I still think it was maybe a little bit. There wasn't that residual afterwards where I can kind of not chew it. It's not
the finish here, is it?
But not the finish there.
Yeah.
No.
I'll be honest, I can tell the difference between the two, but if we started drinking these two side by side and you blindfolded me, I would not be confident I could get you accurate choices here to the end.
Well, and going back to our first one with the Wild Turkey, I think there is a spicier note to it.
There is.
And I want to keep going back to that because it's just, as apparently my palate goes, it's going to be a smooth, spicy one. But I think it has a little bit spicier up front. This one has, I think, to me, just a little bit sweeter up front, but I think it was also sweeter when we had it by itself.
Finish, yeah.
But again, I think it also has a little bit longer of a finish. At least I can taste that on the back end a little bit more than this one, which was more, just a little bit of spice up front, almost as a spiced cocktail of some kind. So
I guess the first question is, would you order this drink again if you got it in a bar? Either one. Manhattan.
I would.
Yep.
You know, if I had one before dinner into a bar, doesn't matter where I'm having it. I think what I would prefer is probably, for my taste, I would prefer the first one with the wild turkey.
Okay, so you'd be calling for this.
Yeah. Now I think those nights where you might not be drinking in this, you know, sitting around a campfire. If you're mixing drinks, and that's what we do at my house a lot. We sit outside and we enjoy the weather as much as possible. So there's certain tastes that I like in the outdoors, and there's certain tastes that I might want in a darkened bar with cigar smoke pouring around. I mean, there's two separate notes, and I think for me, this would be my inside drink, as goofy as that sounds. But I would probably enjoy those a little bit more in an outdoor setting, in a patio setting. It's something where I just need just a hint of sweet to keep me going a little bit. So
interesting. Well, I think I agree with you. I'm sitting here thinking, if I were in a bar and I got served the Blade and Bow, I try it. I'll look at the bartender and say thank you, and I get this served to me, same bar. I taste it. Oh my, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's just there's
extra.
this yes.
Makes me notice it a little more. So I think overall Blade and Bow competent, but I prefer the wild turkey a little more.
Yeah. I was to say it's alone. I think prefer one over the other, but no, I think the wild turkey in a cocktail holds up. Again, I think it's that for me it's that spice that I know what I'm drinking instantly, and I can taste that whiskey, and I know when properly made, it's going to be kind of exactly what I'm wanting. I think more than anything. So
a victory, but an edge.
A hair, yeah. Okay. I was just say, well, that'd be like one of my hairs if you took it that way. But no, I think it's photo finish, but I think it's pretty close. I think they both held up. They're both good.
Both good drinks.
But I think, like you said, it's the tail end of my voice as I'm thanking a bartender might be thank you and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and try a mint julep then, and see where we end up with that. This will be another occasion where we have a lot of sugar, a lot of mint going on, a lot of dilution. We'll see if these whiskeys can hold up. So we're going to try a mint julep now. We're going to go back to the Bulleit 10 because it seems a more eligible bourbon for the mint julep, and we're out of the Blade and Bow anyway. We're going to compare it to the Knob Creek at 100 proof, another robust bourbon that should hold up in a mint julep. We have made simple syrup. Just straight equal parts sugar and water blended together. You don't have to buy that. Don't ever buy that at the store. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Just make your own. We're going to put a spoonful of that here on shaved ice, which we just put in our own blender. Again, easy to make. We'll put in a 3/4 ounce pour of a bourbon, and then we're going to spank a mint leaf here. You don't ever want to grind the mint leaf because that makes it bitter. Just give it a quick spank into the glass. That'll give the mint aroma. If you've got time ahead, then you can let those mint leaves soak in your syrup overnight, and then it gives you a nice mint infusion. We didn't have that amount of time. No, we didn't. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way and do it in real time. So let's see where we end up. Got our shaved ice. Going to do a spoonful of our homemade simple syrup right over the ice. There you go, sir. I'm going to take my Bulleit 10. In this case, a little 3/4 ounce pour. In you go.
And thank you.
Again, anybody can grow mint. It's available in every grocery store. I'm going to pluck a few leaves here. Put them in your hand. Spank them. Oh, nice heavy mint aroma. Put it in there. Now, give it a little stir.
Just
like that.
Smell
your hand. All right, and here we now have a classic. I guess it would be totally classic if we had a straw. We're not going to use a straw here, but we have a mint julep. To the Kentucky Derby, sir.
Kentucky Derby.
So very sweet. I can see why people in the hot days of Kentucky, even in the spring, would like that. The mint comes out, I think. A little spank.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't take much mint for me either. I mean, you've already got that sugar. You just need a kind of that essence. I think, even when you say smell your hand, even though you start smelling fresh mint and you kind of know what you're getting into, you kind of start to see where you're getting after, anyways. At least if you drank mint juleps before. So I think it's all just a little bit is enough to go around. I think, I've seen it now. I guess here would be a good question is, grinding it makes it bitter. Now this is the first I've heard of that because everything I've ever made has been, you put sugar in there, you put it
you just beat the shit out of it, right? Yeah. So let's try it. We'll do this thing. So you take a leaf. Take a leaf. For those of you at home, you can do the same thing. Spanking it hits those leaf capillaries and releases the aromas, and that's what you want. So you hit it, smell. It's a nice, sweet aroma.
Yes.
Now just take your thumb and grind it right into the palm of your hand. What you're doing now is grinding into the stem and veins of the leaf. And what's going to happen, it will start releasing more of a plant and bitter aroma. I don't know if you can see on camera, but I basically made, I don't know what I made, mush in my palm of my hand. If you smell it now, it's musty.
Yep.
Big difference.
Yeah, no,
Big
it's the difference between fresh spring and mowing your lawn.
It's very much like mowing your lawn. Yeah.
For lack of a better way to communicate it, quite frankly. But no, that actually makes complete sense now, and I have been making these wrong for years and years and years.
We're so glad we could help you.
Yes.
Hopefully we help somebody out there in YouTube world. But let me ask you a different question. Could you tell you're drinking bourbon, or could it have been rye, or rum, or vodka?
I think for me, and I don't know if it's the nostalgia of drinking these, and again, it's a lot of the nostalgia of, we're not in Kentucky. We don't own horses, and we don't sell. We don't breed horses. We don't have anything to do with horse racing other than maybe betting on it.
This is the closest I've gotten to owning a horse.
Yes, I was going to say this is about as close as I've gone. But I think I do want a heavy charcoal with this particular drink. So I think the heavier charred flavor for me, and you can get charrier than that. But I still think that's without going overboard. I think it's one of those things that are affordable that you're going to be able to find at almost every grocery store, every restaurant, everywhere you go. And I think it's like the right amount of heat, right alcohol level. I think it's the right char. So for me, it actually kind of works. It's still a sweet drink, and it's probably something I can have one or two of. I need a small glass, and you don't need those giant things they make them in.
Giant hat, giant glass.
Yes. So I think for me, I could have one of these. Yeah, like you said, on a warm day. I think other than that, it might be substituting at least some of the simple syrup out of there at some point.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how it holds up. We'll move over to the Knob Creek then. Heavier bourbon, more of a char. Okay, so we're going to move to the Knob Creek here. Again, to the Kentucky Derby and large hats and fast horses. Oh. Well, now I know I'm drinking a bourbon.
Yes, I was going to say that. For me, again, I think that it fell short on its own a little bit. It didn't give me what I wanted. It is something that I could drink one of, and I wouldn't complain too much.
Right.
But I think this, if I sat down with it, it'd be something that I would enjoy, and I actually would order another.
Definitely.
Because it's, again, you're probably going to get it at the right price. Versus, if it's a flagship, there's some days you might have one of those. Probably wouldn't mix most flagships, at least in my case, because I'd want to order it, just have it neat, but. No, that works. It battles some of the sweet. So
yeah, I think I'm with you too. The Knob Creek makes a much superior mint julep. The bourbon is there. The char is there. It works together. I don't mind that I'm wearing a big hat now that I'm drinking this drink. That works all the way.
Well, I do mind. I lost $100 somewhere on some horse because I don't think I've ever won in all two times that I've actually ever bet on a horse. But it's one of those things that doesn't get better with the amount of tries you put on it. So no, that's I think again to me that holds up, and I would have another one even
3 or 4 of those.
Yeah,
for sure.
So.
All right. Well, let's sum up. So here we are in summary. We've tried a number of bourbons here. They're all basically within the same price range, between $45 and $60. They're all tended to be premium products that people regard rather well. So let's talk about that. We've got the 3 known products here. We've got Bulleit 10. We've got Blade and Bow. You might have seen a little press about it. I'm sure you have the Proof 66 website in front of you looking at the ratings. But now you're going to buy a bottle of whiskey. You're at the store. They're all $50. Which one are you pulling down?
I think most likely for me, to me it's actually a pretty easy decision because, like you said earlier when we were kind of tasting the one of the last mint juleps, is okay. Now I know what I'm drinking, and to me it's a little bit important. I don't want to have to guess of, what is the price point of this? What is, who's this made by? I want to know what I'm drinking. And that's just a comfort level. It would be my go-to everyday drink. It would be Wild Turkey for me.
Wild Turkey.
It was, and if you would have asked me that at the very beginning, I had never had this particular Wild Turkey before, and I think I could get excited about the Bulleit Bow as well. But it was a Wild Turkey that as soon as I drink it, I go, okay, yep, that's peppery. It's like you said, it's got a little bit of fight in it. It's kind of what the whiskey I want to drink needs to taste like. I think Knob Creek is always, it's got I think it's got a heavier char to it. I think it's perfect for mixing drinks. I can drink it on its own. I like to drink things neat. So for me, it would be going there. I think the Bulleit 10 would be the only one that actually fell short, and again, would probably be in a different category for me. If it was in the $50 range, I wouldn't order another one, or I wouldn't be buying another one. I think the Stag's, that was good as well. I mean, it's got some heat to it. You're getting your money's worth, but it didn't have an overwhelming sense of heat where I wouldn't drink it. I think you can mix it in things, and I don't know that I would probably buy something that high proofed for my everyday drink. However, and again, for me, I think the Wild Turkey was really what I prefer.
All right, so I hear you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep, that'd be about correct.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's been pretty close to order. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of with you. The Bulleit 10 did not hold up in this peer group. If I paid $50 for that, I'd be pretty mad, or at least disappointed. Maybe not mad. I wouldn't be throwing the bottle through the retailer's window mad, but I'd be not excited to buy it again. Bulleit Bow's okay, but for me, I'm probably going Knob Creek if I'm going to make mint juleps or mix it in heavy volumes. If I'm buying one bottle and one bottle only, I'm probably going with the Stag Junior, just because it is versatile enough to go into everything. But I don't quite see the Bulleit Bow meeting the same levels of flavor and complexity and finish as the bigger market whiskeys that we've tried today. Good effort. I wish them well. I think they should keep working at it. I don't want to trash their product necessarily, but they're not quite ready to compete at the elite levels yet.
Yep. No, I'd agree with that. I think it was one of those that it had just a little bit of stickiness or chew, or it was a little sweet. Again, while I enjoyed it here out of these, it was probably one of my favorites. I don't know that I would buy it for everything, because again, I don't think it stuck out enough other than to add to some of the cocktails that are already going to have a lot of sweetness to them anyhow. So for mixing, for sure, yeah, it's at Knob Creek, and it was the big boys for me. And again, I wanted to give some others a shot here, but I was very surprised.
We did, yeah.
Very surprised. Because again, I'm walking in here, I wouldn't have guessed that I'd be going in the order I picked, but it's one of those things where it's your old standbys. Sometimes they're standbys for a reason. So.
For sure. All right, well there we are. There we have it. Bulleit Bow and Bulleit 10, maybe worth an experiment or two, but stick with the bigger market brands for now. This is Proof 66. Thank you and keep watching.